Hi, I'm Dr. Wendy Mogel, and I'm here with the Glenbard Parents Series. Very happy to be back again. I have written a book called The Blessing of a Skin Knee and one called The Blessing of a B-. My most recent book is called Voice Lessons for Parents because I noticed in my practice that even though parents were saying just the right thing to their kids, the way they were saying it caused the children not to listen or to start a fight with them. So we began to practice voice lessons. And I would say to the parents, I noticed that your voice just went up in pitch, or that you started to wag your finger, or your shoulders went up to your ears. And we would rehearse the voice lessons in the office, and then they would go home and try it. What we found is that there's a big difference between communicating with boys and girls. We know that being able to have a conversation and to listen and to make sure you understand what the other person is saying is the only 21st century skill we can rely on to be essential. So we don't know if the kids are going to need to learn to forage or do robotics or speak Mandarin. They are going to be able to know how to communicate. A good way to communicate with your child once they become preteens or teenagers is to imagine that your daughter is not your daughter, but your visiting niece from a distant state. She is the daughter of your sister or your sister-in-law who you're not very fond of, and she's just going to be there for a short time, so you don't care terribly much about how rude she is to you or what her future is going to look like, which gives you a little bit of distance when you're communicating with her. Your son, you can imagine, is an exchange student from Kazakhstan. And you're a cultural anthropologist. What are the ways of these people? How fascinating. And soon he'll be gone, and I will have learned so much about the youth of this foreign land. 2 new terms have entered our lexicon. They are continuous partial attention and technoference. And it has to do with parents' device use. We are all in a snit and a tizzy and panicked about how much kids are using social media. And when I talk to the kids, they say to me, it's so hard to get my parents' attention that I feel greater sibling rivalry with my parents' devices than I do with my siblings. So the first thing I say to parents is, when your child talks to you, stop what you're doing and listen. Repeat back what they've said and say things like, I want to make sure I'm clear about what you're asking for or what you're telling me. Tell me if I have it right. Wait for a sentence with a question at the end before you give advice or counsel. If they are complaining to you about how much they're suffering, show compassion. So you can say, ouch, or what, that sounds so hard. What are you considering doing about this? Have you ever been in a situation like this before? What have you tried so far? What's your goal in this situation? So you are acting as a consultant and not a manager. I say to parents all the time, it's not you. Everyone has drunk the Kool-Aid, and if you beat yourself up and try to be a perfect parent, you're going to be too tense to have any fun. And kids are hilarious and energetic, and they're changing every day, and it's a magical mystery tour. And you want to join them on the journey without becoming their friend, remaining a parent.